I'm Ms. Artastic, and in this episode we're going to make a lovely flower artwork that explores line and using oil pastels and watercolor paints. So grab those art making supplies and a colored piece of paper and let's make some art. Alright, we're going to create a lovely flower using oil pastels and some paint. So we're going to grab a color piece of paper, something a little bit thicker, any color you want, and a dark colored oil pastel such as blue, purple, brown, or black. And I want to use some, maybe I'll use purple to draw with today. Why not? Let's try purple. Change it up a little bit. So we're going to begin with drawing a lovely curving line in the center. A nice curving line in the center. We'll bring it down, dip up, down, connect. Kind of like a jelly bean shape. On either side, we're going to draw a curving line out, bring it back up, out, dip, bring it back up. So we're having two petals, one on each side. We're gonna have another petal on each side, so we're just gonna do a curving line and connect. A curving line and connect, because we're not gonna see the other side or all the details because we have overlapping happening where this petal is in front of this petal. Like if I have one hand in front of the other, we're not gonna see all the details of my fingers that are in front of this, that are behind the front hand, right? So this hand's covering up all the details of the fingers. You only see my nails. So this is going to create a sense of depth in our design. That means that it's going to give it some more three-dimensional qualities, or a sense that there is depth or space in it. It's not just flat. There's a sense of overlapping happening. So that one thing in front of another. In the back, we'll have one little petal peeking out. So we'll kind of go up, dip down, up, connect. Then below, we're gonna draw our stems. We'll have one line come down on one side, but on the other side, we'll have one line come down, reach out, go back in, come down, and connect. We're gonna switch colors to grab a different dark color. I'm gonna use dark blue this time, but maybe you wanna try dark purple or brown. Let's draw some zigzag lines out to create a leaf. And in that leaf, we're going to draw some zigzag lines for some leaf texture. In the center of our flower, let's draw some spirals. We're going to fill up different parts of our design with some lines. On the petals, let's add some straight lines. Or maybe you want to do straight lines. You can do pattern dashed lines, straight lines, dashed lines. So each petal, maybe that is a good idea. We do a different type of line. Make a pattern around our leaves. Isn't that pretty? Oops, I made a mistake there, so I'm gonna grab my other, I can't erase oil pastel, so I'm just gonna blend it in by thickening up the purple. There we go. That's how you correct your mistakes. Now I'm gonna go back to dashed. And then I'll end again with straight. On the stem, let's do curly lines. Perfect. Let's go back to let's actually pick a choice color. I'm gonna pick a green this time. And maybe in the background, let's draw some leaf shapes. I need a darker green, I think. Let's draw some leaf shapes in the background. So we're gonna draw some stems first. We'll draw a line up, down, in, like very narrow triangles. Out, down, in. Out, down, in. Then we're gonna go up, starting up the stem a little bit. We'll go out to a point, back in. Curve 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 out to a point, back in. And then we can add lines, diagonal lines, in those leaves. And this is going to add some repetition in our background. Our flower will stand out more because it's the one thing that's different compared to all the features in the background. But it also helps the viewer's eyes kind of bounce around the design with the repetition everywhere. All right, now before we go and paint, let's take a pause and do a silly squiggle. All right, welcome to Silly Squiggle. We have 3 minutes to turn a squiggle into something starting now. All right, let's start off with a squiggle. And now it's time to turn it into something. I think I'm gonna make a banner. That's gonna have a nice message for you. Bring these lines down. Kind of make it look a little bit more 3D. There we go. Now it looks a little bit more 3D, doesn't it? We'll add some shading with some long hatching lines. So we can see or define these curls a little bit more. The fold of the banner. Anywhere there might be overlapping, I'll just add some hatching lines to create some shading with line. All right, let's add a message here. We got 1.5 minutes left. Can you guess what my message will be? Hello, friend. Got 50 seconds. And maybe there's actually a little bee that's like your little welcoming party. Welcome to the Ms. Artastic YouTube channel. I'm a little bee. Got 30 seconds to make a bee. Oh, it's a chubby bee. Five seconds. And there we go. You're today's silly squiggle from your little bee. All right, so we're gonna start painting our leaf here. I mean our flowers, our flower artwork here, but we're gonna start off with our leaf. So we're gonna swirl in some watercolor paint. We're gonna grab our watercolor paint, dip our brush in water, swirl, swirl, swirl on the green paint, and then we're gonna simply paint inside the leaf shapes in our background. You'll notice that the oil pastel helps keep that paint where we need it to be inside the leaves, but also it resists the paint. It means that the paint is not being, it's just the oil pastel is pushing it away so we don't lose those lines. That is really cool. Okay, next we're gonna paint in our flower petals, and you can pick any color you want to paint your flower petals. Then we're gonna paint the inside of the flower. I'm gonna do yellow. And then before we finish off with our stem and other details in our background, let's do the never-ending painting, and you can catch up on your artwork while I work on that.
It's time for the never-ending painting.
All right, welcome back to the Never Ending Painting, where we work on this painting every single episode for a few minutes while you take a break and catch up on your design. And then you need to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and come back every single week. I post a new video every single week, so you can check out the progress on the painting and see how it evolves. It's a little bit every time, but look how far we've come. So we're gonna continue now. Again, the rules of the never-ending painting are that I only use primary colors to mix up all my other colors, so red, blue, and yellow, and I can also use white and black, although I haven't quite used that yet, and I might be a long time before I get there. So far we've just used the colors that we have. So let's add a new detail today. We'll continue this new creature down here. I'm not sure what it's gonna be yet. We'll add a little neck, and then maybe it has a weird tubular body like this larger creature. Maybe they come from they're from the similar world, right? So we want them to kind of match. Add that on there. And then maybe it has one of these, it's like a weird sail, similar to the antennas on this guy, dragon thing. Not sure what it's going to be called. Well, that's something similar. Leave it at that for now. And let's add a little bit of paint. We got another 1.5 minutes to add some details. We'll add some paint here. maybe the tops of these. Nah, I'm gonna finish drawing it first. Add a bit more yellow to these spots so they stand out a little bit more. Fix this one because I kind of messed it up. It's all about layers when you're painting to really make a nice painting that has a lot of depth. You can kind of see through the layers and it makes it very intriguing. I'll add a little bit of yellow to the top of these tentacles, kind of boost their intensity. And that will be it for today on the never-ending painting. All right, so back to the flower. We're gonna pick a nice stem color. I'm gonna pick a nice light green. And paint my leaf. And then to finish up the background, we're gonna add some swirls. So we're gonna swirl, swirl, swirl in a choice color paint. And we're just gonna take our brush. We're gonna use just the tip of our brush only to paint in some beautiful swirls in the background and some curving lines if you don't have room for a swirl. Isn't that lovely? And just like that, your flower painting is done. Thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel as well. Great news is that the enrollment for the Artastic Collective Artastic Kids online streaming membership is open right now for enrollment. You can check it out at www.artastickids.com and enroll to level up your art skills with hundreds of streamable art lessons to your favorite device. You can check it out at artastickids.com, and I'll see you in the next episode.